Let's talk about a world that is all around us right now, but is completely invisible. It's this massive, bustling world of living things that literally shape our planet, our food, and even our own bodies, and we can't see any of it. I mean, just think about that for a second. Every single thing you touch, every breath you take, it's just teeming with a hidden ecosystem. And this isn't science fiction, not at all. This is the actual reality we live in. You know, for most of human history, our understanding of life was, well, pretty limited. We saw the plants, we saw the animals, and we figured, yep, that's pretty much the whole story. Our entire world was defined by what our eyes could show us.
But then, one single invention came along and completely shattered that reality. The microscope basically opened a door to a dimension we never even knew existed. And it revealed this hidden majority, trillions upon trillions of tiny organisms that, it turns out, really run the planet.
Okay, so to really get a grip on this invisible world, we have to start with the absolute basics, the fundamental unit of all life. Doesn't matter if it's the tiniest microbe or the biggest whale, we have to start with the cell.
So here's the key idea. Everything that's alive is made of cells. Think of them like tiny little Lego bricks. You can build almost anything you can imagine, but it all comes back to that one basic piece. They are the little engine rooms of existence. Now, what's really cool is that not all these Lego bricks are the same. Check this out. On the one hand, you've got your plant cell. See that rigid cell wall? It gives it that fixed, kind of boxy shape. Plus, it has these things called chloroplasts. They're like tiny solar panels that let the plant make its own food. But then you have animal cells. No walls, so they're more flexible, and no solar panels, which means they've got to go out and find their food. So we've got the building blocks, but what happens when an entire living thing is just one, or maybe a few, of these tiny blocks? Well, that's when it's time to meet the true rulers of the invisible world, the microorganisms.
Yeah, the name pretty much says it all, right? Microorganisms, or you'll often hear them called microbes, are just living things that are way, way too small for us to see without some help. And we're talking about a huge, diverse kingdom here. Everything from bacteria and fungi to tiny little algae.
And when I say they live everywhere, I mean everywhere. They're in the deepest parts of the ocean, on the highest mountains, inside fiery volcanic vents. Oh, and there are billions of them thriving inside your gut right this second. They're the planet's ultimate survivors for sure.
So what are these trillions and trillions of tiny beings actually doing all day? Are they just kind of there? No way. They make up this incredible, invisible workforce that is constantly shaping the world we live in.
They are super active, they're eating, they're reproducing, and they are building entire ecosystems. And all that work they do, even though we can't see it, has massive consequences for all life on Earth, including us.
And here's a brilliant way to see just how active they are. It's such a simple experiment, but it says so much. The yeast, which is a living microbe, eats the sugar and, as a byproduct, releases carbon dioxide gas. It's literally breathing, and that breath is what inflates the balloon and what makes our bread rise.
And their jobs go way beyond the kitchen. I mean, you've got bacteria like Rhizobium that act like tiny fertilizer factories, pulling nitrogen right out of the air to feed plants. And then you have the decomposers, nature's cleanup crew, breaking down dead stuff and recycling all those crucial nutrients back into the system.
So this all brings us to the big question, right? Why should we even care about all this invisible activity? Well, the answer is pretty simple, because it has a very, very visible impact on our daily lives.
Just think about it. From the yeast that makes your bread fluffy to the bacteria that turn milk into yogurt and cheese, we're relying on these tiny chefs every single day. That whole process of fermentation, it's all powered by microbes.
And it's really no exaggeration to say this, without microbes in the soil helping plants get the nutrients they need, our entire agricultural system would just collapse. They are the true foundation of the food chain.
Imagine a world where nothing ever decayed. That's what a world without decomposer microbes would be like. They are constantly at work, breaking down all the waste and keeping the planet from getting buried in its own junk. Of course, it's not all good news. Some microbes, the ones we call pathogens, can make us sick. And this is exactly why understanding this invisible world is so critical for our health. It's why we wash our hands and make sure our food is safe. So when you really break it all down, their impact is just constant and profound. From your breakfast table, to the soil our food grows in, to your own health, this invisible world is a major player in just about everything. It really makes you think, doesn't it? This quote just perfectly captures what we've been talking about. The most powerful, most fundamental processes that are driving our planet are happening on a scale that's totally hidden from us.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Now that we've seen the incredible power of this invisible biological world, it has to make you wonder, what other fundamental truths about our reality are out there, shaping everything that we just haven't learned how to see yet?